It's been almost 3 weeks since the launch of GTA 5 on the next-gen systems, and after going through the graphics and FPS performance in depth, I wanted to make one sort of final review or roundup giving my opinions on the good, the bad, and if this was really worthy of being a completely separate next-gen port. We'll start out with all the good changes and enhancements that came with the new versions here. So, the career builder. That's a massive step in the right direction for new players. Starting out at level 1 with no money, no properties, and just a pistol in current GTA Online, I mean, you're just setting yourself up to get annihilated upon entering a public lobby that absolutely needed an overhaul. It feels really nice being able to play GTA at 60 FPS now on console after so many years. It makes a world of a difference in the gameplay. It makes the gunplay so much smoother and responsive. And the enhanced graphics obviously look better as well, but that's kind of the thing you expect jumping to the next-gen consoles from a weaker console. The new speed upgrades and new chameleon paint jobs are nice, but they're really such minor pieces of content because they're on cars that already existed in the game prior, and only on a select few of them at that. We did get 5 new cars, but really it's only 3 new cars. I don't count the Astron Custom or Weaponized Ignis as brand new, especially the Astron Custom because it's literally just the same vehicle we had, but with an HSW upgrade available for it. I don't know why they just didn't add it to the existing Astron because they clearly did that with all the older cars that they added HSW upgrades to. Maybe they wanted to just make a new variant just so they could say they had 5 new cars because it looks better than 4. I don't know, but that's just weird. The Cyclone 2 is definitely my favorite HSW car out of the bunch though, just because of its insane acceleration. It really is fun to drive, and it's finally an electric vehicle that's good in races because you don't really see that too often. As for new content though, that's pretty much it. Just a few new cars, some new upgrades, and new paint jobs. Oh, and the new time trial and the new HSW races, which are not necessarily new because they're races that have been in the game since 2013, but you can only use HSW cars on them instead. The amount of new content added in the next-gen version is very minor at best. You know, when you look back at all the upgrades and content that you got going from the PS3 to the PS4 years back, you had an entire new first-person mode which required a whole bunch of new animations. They had to basically redo all the vehicle interiors for first-person to even look good when you're driving in first-person. Online player counts were essentially doubled from 16 to 30. Single player got new content with the stock car races, the Duke of Death, the monster truck, the seaplane, the Kraken submarine. You had new weapons, the hatchet and the railgun, which were really cool. The traffic was updated, even containing some of the newer DLC vehicles at the time. You had all of the vehicles and weapons that had been added into GTA Online brought over to single player. Peyote plants that you could find to play as animals because they added in new animals with the PS4 and Xbox One versions. There was just so much stuff that they brought in with the PS4 and Xbox One. And when you compare that to what we got with the PS5 and Xbox Series X, it's not even close. Single player hasn't seen any updates or changes to it. They didn't bother to add in at least some of the cars and weapons to single player to make replaying the story a bit more fun. And there are so many weapons and cars they could have brought over. I get their focus is on the online component of the game now, and even still it seems like not much was added to bring some new life into the game with these new versions. If we had gotten like 50 or so vehicles day one with the new HSW upgrades, then maybe I could see how that would change things up a bit. Especially if some of the older OG cars like the Adder, Cheetah, or Entity XF were brought up to be able to compete with some of the newer supercars, that would have been awesome. And I don't doubt that we're going to see plenty more HSW upgrades for vehicles in future updates. I just think that what we got on day one wasn't really enough. The quality of life changes are also very underwhelming. Rockstar says they added like tons of quality of life updates, but really, the only quality of life change that I can even think of off the top of my head right now is the ability to switch to an invite-only lobby from a public session. But even with that change, they still missed out on a very important quality of life update that they should have brought in with the landing page, because from this new landing page they added, you can't even load directly into an invite-only session. You have to first load into a public lobby and then load into an invite-only session from there. Or if you did decide to buy the story mode, you can load into story mode first, then into an invite-only lobby. I don't understand why they have to keep making this so difficult. Like, why can't we just load into an invite-only lobby from that landing page directly? Why do we have to jump through 5 hoops just to be able to do that? We still don't have any way to organize phone contacts. They didn't change the way vehicle selection and races work, so you still have to scroll through like 50 cars to get to the one you want, in that small time limit if you even can. These are things that people have been asking for a while now, and they would have been great to have with the new version of GTA Online. There's also a plethora of issues that weren't even present on the last-gen systems that I made a video on already, but to give a couple examples, you can spam call other players through the in-game phone, which messes up your gameplay because if you're running with A and the phone pops up, you can't run until you hang up. There's not only no cooldown for this, but there's also no way to turn off that feature, so if a player wants to, they can annoy the shit out of you just by calling you through the phone non-stop. Sure, that's a minor thing, but the fact that it didn't work that way before and for some reason now does is just strange and annoying. And apparently this has been in development for like 2 years or so, because it was originally announced in 2020 to release in 2021, but as we all know, it got delayed to March of 2022. Red Dead Online also stopped receiving updates apparently to allocate resources to GTA 5 Next Gen and probably GTA 6. In fact, it's probably the reason why it does feel so underwhelming, because most of the devs, I imagine, are working on the next big title. At the end of the day though, this is a simple port to the new consoles, which is funny because that's entirely what Rockstar and Take-Two said they don't do. They definitely knew they couldn't get away with charging full price, which is why it's only like $20 to own both. Obviously, if you're on PS5, you can get GTA Online for free, but this is only taking into account the sale, because the real price is going to be $40 after that sale does end. If it was a free upgrade to those who already own the game, then I wouldn't really have any complaints about it being just a simple port, but at least for the time being, nothing significant was changed. It's still the same game with the same god mode glitches and the same unbalanced mess of a free mode environment, just prettier. For the final verdict though, it should have been much more than what we got, and it's not even that we were asking for a whole lot either. I feel like bug fixes and general quality of life updates are very, very minor requests when going to a new generation of the game. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Do you agree that there should have been a lot more included in this next-gen version? Or do you think that just enjoying the game at 60 FPS with better graphics is enough for a paid upgrade? Obviously, there's also the existence of GTA Plus, which I didn't want to really get into in this video. I've already covered that in a few of my other videos. You guys know how I feel about GTA Plus. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel for more content. I want to give a huge shout out to all my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a channel member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.